it.
I just thought that was interesting that the BOI was an attack on small business that went under the radar, and all my small business people, they all know about it. When you say BOI, oh yeah, I sent that to their, I heard about that, yeah, filed it. But I'm like, man, you gave the government all your information? Well, yeah, I was had to. I mean, but so yeah, it's so easy for people to fall into that trap. But having been through COVID and all that, I was like, hell no. I mean, suffered as much as I saw other small business people suffering. Imagine if the government had all of their information of their ownerships. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can find out when you just search a business, right? But this was actually giving them your bank account, everything, right? They wanted to
The
know.
IRS, that's the mafia for the Federal Reserve. That's the collection
Right,
agency mafia of the Federal
right.
Reserve. That's all it is. And the
That's why I
Federal
was
Reserve
looking
is
at.
it's not a government institution.
It's called FinCEN, Financial Criminal Arm of the IRS. When I first read that, I was like, "Oh, great!" And we have certainly moved into 1984. It's right around the corner. Because I knew this was the end of small business once they can control all small business, and this is what it was for. And what excuse they use? Oh, we need to find out money laundering from cartels. That what that so you needed to find out all information about all small businesses so you can fight money laundering with cartels when you can do that right freaking now if you really wanted to. Fucking people kill me. So yeah, it's the excuses they give you for it, right? That's a big tell every time. For us truthers, we can see right through it, right? Now I couldn't always see through it when I was a sucker. I would just believe everything because I loved my country and thought they were doing the best for me, right? But I this has been a great conversation, but I'm definitely not one of us, the silent type. My customers come in, I'm handing them a flat earth shirt and telling them all about this. You know, I might offer them a Make America Moral Again shirt with the 10 Commandments on the back, but and see which one, or a flat earth shirt and see which one they go with. It's funny. But
What kind of work do you do?
well, we were talking earlier and I about the do.
Yeah.
And if you go back in the chat by then, I posted a picture of a blue shirt with "do" on it.
Oh, you sell T-shirts, those do shirts?
Yeah, I created. Well, yeah, me and my son created that. That's just a side business we just created. I silk screen. I've been silk screen printing for about 23 years now, and so I'm pretty much a professional. I just do it constantly without even thinking about it now. It's fun. I enjoy it. I love
That's
helping
a
people
lot of
with all the projects.
truth. You can make a lot of truth T-shirts.
Well, I
Like
do.
you
We
said,
have a
you have
whole
the
line.
flat Earth one.
Yep, I have two flat Earth ones, and I have unvaccinated lives matter. Uh, I mean, it's basically the name of my son's company business was Info Drip that we just started at infodripstore.com. If you click on the link, the little blue link at the top of that post, you'll see the paper form, the digital form that you can purchase it. Don't purchase anything. I'll give you one. I want to send all of you one. Actually, if I could make an Earth Awakening shirt, I'd send Jeremy one to pass out or send to everybody or mail them to everybody, whatever. But no, I have all these shirts that we've made for his new business that he's 18 starting out, and I wanted to InfoWars type logos, that kind of stuff. But unvaccinated lives matter. Come and take it. Viking compass on the back with all the cool things on it. So all those kind and of course made in Florida. I want a whole line of made ins, right? Made in Florida, made in Louisiana, made in Texas, that kind of thing. With the flags on the back and both sleeves printed with the arms and front print. Pretty cool. But yeah, I love what I do. I love helping others. But I print for a lot of restaurants and schools and businesses and
You should
hospitals.
probably look into the weather modification. Being from Florida, all the hurricanes that hit
Oh, we
Florida.
just experienced all that, right? The weather, the winds that we had, it was crazy. And I've been through hurricanes and tropical storms and all that stuff many times. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
weather's definitely changing, it feels like. And the chemtrailing too. We've never seen clouds like this. In my whole life living there, I've never seen clouds and chemtrails as much as I have now. Now I know chemtrails been around for a long time, but just in this area I haven't seen the skies being the way they are now.
if you notice, like when you see a hurricane on radar, what is the shape of it? It's basically a donut
What,
shape, right?
toroidal field, right?
It's
Toroidal.
toroidal. You got the
Yeah.
donut, you got a vortex. So
Yeah,
if
the
you fill in
vortex.
the part, if you got the vortex, but then you fill in the part you don't see, that's the invisible part, the toroid. Same with a tornado. Even the name tornado,
Yeah.
it's the word tor means that's the torus, and
Damn, I never
the
even thought
nado
of that
means
before.
nada, means zero, the 0 point. It's like if you dissect the word, it tells you what it is. And it at the nada point, the null point, that's the middle
Oh man.
of a magnetic field. In between north and south, there's a null point. There's a 0 point. You hear people say
So
0 point energy. That's basically
yeah.
just the convergence. You have a convergence zone, like what I showed you in that 9/11 picture. There's a
Hmm.
convergence zone in the middle. Walter Russell has a drawing and it shows integration and disintegration. So you have the integration, it's the vortex, and then
Yeah.
in the middle zone between the two vortexes, you have a disintegration. You have where they cancel out. And that's what you saw. The Trade Center, it was demolishing. There was like a line, that line of energy. On the bottom,
Yeah.
there's a toroid. On the top, there's a vortex. The ejection pattern, but it through the dust it could show you where the energy was channeled.
It's weird, like we see the toroidal field pattern in everything in the old world structures, buildings, cathedrals, stuff like that. The pattern of light, whatever they call it. But you're right. You see that in a lot of things in nature. And I never thought, I here I am a truther, never even thought of a tornado being toroidal in nature. And how
That's what it means.
does the racism play in? So does that now mean that I have to restructure the way I think about how tornadoes and hurricanes are formed and worked? Is it more, well, we know heat and
Electro.
yeah,
That's
but we know
electromagnetism. So you
temperature
look at
plays
the ley
some
lines.
part in the wind strength, I guess, but of a hurricane. But now that I'm rethinking what you just said, the forming of it must be electrical and magnetic in nature.
It is because look where they start. Look, it
Holy
starts over
crap!
the salt
That's what I
line.
was just thinking. Where do they start at? And if is that a magnet point or uh, a special point where these tornadoes or hurricanes can be,
That's
or there's
that's
certain
where
points on the
hard.
earth where they're more likely to be formed.
Well, that's your tropics, your Tropic of Capricorn, tropic. You have hurricanes, and then you have
Right.
monsoons and typhoons, and they one is counterclockwise to the other. And if
But
you look at the which tropic they're in, that tells you the direction they spin. It's like, oh well, they have the reverse of a hurricane. They have a monsoon or a typhoon, and it
but are
spins
we
the
also
opposite direction.
but are we also talking about basically ether or electrostatics involved
Yeah,
in
it
the
is. It's
energy of this?
electromagnetics, electrostatic.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Because you ever seen the storm surge? You have a storm
Sure.
surge,
Yeah.
and then you
I'm right
have
here on the
one where
coast.
the ocean gets sucked out. So in other words,
Yeah.
it's not being sucked out. Let me show you what's going on. I have this picture that I made this myself.
Yeah. I
I
live in
saw someone do
Pensacola,
it.
Florida. So
What's
we go
that?
out on the beach when the hurricane's coming in and it's pulled out quite a bit sometimes. Yeah.
I'll show you why that's happening. Check this out.
I'm one of those crazy people who do not leave when they say leave. And I go out to the beach and take pictures and hold the flag against the wind. I'm that guy.
So what's happening is, do you see the picture I just dropped? Look at the way the magnets affect the water. So
Oh,
picture,
yeah. Yeah.
okay, you have your funnel, you have your the vortex of the hurricane, right? But then the
Hmm.
portion you don't see, that's the magnetic portion that's literally pushing the water out. Just like see how it's being pushed up through the belly button part or the donut hole, And then the
Yep.
part that you don't see, you see like the toroidal shape of the water. It's being pushed away. You don't see the part that goes above the surface. It's invisible, but
Yeah.
through the shape of the water, you can kind of get a picture of what's going on. The only reason I could envision this, I saw that device, that ferrule cell, where you can see the flux lines, and it actually creates that torus shape. If I never saw it, I wouldn't understand what I'm looking at. Like, well, what the fuck is this? It wouldn't make any sense. But when you can visualize the invisible, like through a device or even through iron filings, then you can kind of conceive what's going on. It makes more
Right. When they
sense.
Right, that's pretty amazing. They have that now that we can use that as a test to show the magnetic field and how it changes when you move it around. It's fascinating to watch.
Even something as simple as this, these iron filings, this is pretty cool because you can see, look at the shape that the iron filings are making. I'm gonna drop like some pictures of different magnets with the iron filings, and this is something inexpensive. Anyone could do this, but you see the patterns they're making,
Yeah.
and then in the middle, right in the dead ass middle, there's nothing going on. You see the compass is sideways, and then the
Right.
shavings are jumping across the middle. There's nothing being attracted to the center.
Yep. And
So
we
if you
all
try
know
to
what
pick
that's
up,
like when you try to push two opposing magnets together and we feel that force.
or if you try to lift up, if you have a bar magnet, if you try and lift up from the center, it's very weak. But if you from the two ends, it's strong. Magnet's much stronger from the ends than
Right.
it is in the center. I remember as a kid doing it. I'm like, well, the middle sucks. The
Yeah.
end is just,
Same.
you know what I mean? Like, let me pick it up, and I would try to pick it up at the center, like a nail or something. Let me pick up this
I,
nail with a magnet,
I like
and it
that
had no
picture
power.
with I like the picture with the compasses going around in a half circle because it really will let people understand the way compasses work a little bit better.
Or you could just follow the shavings. Look at the pattern of
Yeah,
shavings are doing the
yeah,
same as the
that's
compass needle.
pretty amazing.
But now, if you picture this, right? Picture that hurricane as one giant coil
Toroidal.
magnet.
Hmm.
So in the middle of that coil, that electrical coil, you see the water above, the picture of the water.
Yeah,
Picture you put a giant magnet over the ocean. Some of it's going to create a storm surge, and some of it's going to push the water out to sea. So you're going to have the tide rescend. It's going to go out into the ocean. They're like, oh
yeah.
my God, it went out. And people say it got sucked out. The low pressure sucked it out. Well, you're not going to suck it out. It was pushed out.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. Me and my old school brain is still thinking about it the way you just described versus the way it is. Oh my God. Thanks for waking me up on that. I never ever considered that. I was definitely thinking it was pulled out, sucked out, just like we're always programmed to. That's what we were programmed, and it's still,
Well, look what it's doing in the cup. It's pushing the
damn.
water away. See it pushing? So if you have
Yep.
enough magnetic force, it's like, well, suction isn't going to suck the ocean out. Like, say it's sucked out a half mile out to sea or whatever. Like it's very shallow, like a very shallow gradient. It's like, oh yeah, the tide was sucked out
Like
hundreds
Mobile,
of feet.
Alabama.
It was sucked out. Well, no, it wasn't sucked out. It was pushed. It was displaced. It was displaced by the magnetic force. It
That
pushed it.
makes so much more sense too. Well, with our understanding, right? For a normie, you'd
So
have
what
to
we
get a
need that you have
justification on it.
barometric pressure. We need some kind of Gauss meters. The next time you have a hurricane, measure the Gauss. Measure the Gauss readings.
What is the Gauss readings? I don't know what that is.
That's that measures like magnetic flux. You can
Oh,
buy
okay.
these
All right.
different Gauss meters to test magnet strength.
Oh,
So
damn.
if
I
you
got to get one of those. I'm right
there's
here at the
different kinds.
panhandle. I'll be writing that
Yeah, I'm
shit
not.
down and dating it. Awesome.
So you're going to need a barometer is inexpensive. So I think there's a correlation. You know, electricity has pressure, right? Like voltage is pressure.
Yes.
So, like the air pressure might have something that they might correlate because the higher you go, into the air, the pressure gets lower, but the electrical charge gets higher. The voltage
Yeah,
goes higher, and
I've had.
they're inversely correlated. So like, oh well, this is a low pressure, but it's
Mm-hmm.
high electrical charge. Like there's an inverse correlation between pressure and electricity.
Right. Maybe that's why I've had my ears popped by a tropical storm before, but not by a hurricane. The pressures are different with different storms. I
Right, right.
noticed
But I'm
that.
saying the pressure is something what we're seeing here. The magnetic pressure, it
Mhm.
has like they're correlated to each other. Lower pressure, higher voltage.
Oh, right.
Lower air pressure, like the lower air pressure when something goes high into the like those balloons they launch, the
Uh-huh.
voltage gets higher. There's like 100 volts increase every 3 feet. It's linear. It just keeps getting higher and higher as the air pressure gets lower and lower. The voltage goes higher.
Yeah,
Same with the
I
hurricane. The lower pressure, the stronger the hurricane. The lower the air pressure, the
it
barometric pressure.
it
Oh, it's
amazed me
lower.
when
The
I
more
saw this
powerful the storm.
I saw this guy do an experiment where he took a balloon and tied a wire to it, took it up, and was reading the voltage meetings as it went up. It's fascinating. I'm like,
And then the
well,
eye, the eye of the hurricane is the dead zone. That's the neutral
mhm,
point where it's coming down. It's neutral. It's like the dead zone because, like on a magnet, in the center of the magnet is the weakest portion, right?
right,
And then once you get just outside the eye wall, outside the neutral zone, you hit the eye wall, and that's picture that as the toroid of the flux, the electrical flux returning through the toroid through the hourglass, like the sand in an hourglass. You have
yeah,
them converging, and that's your eye wall of the storm, the most powerful part.
exactly.
So it all makes more sense if you can like, oh, it's not literally sucking the water out. It's just but those are the terms we're presented with. Even like I hate to use like to call those fires when I know they're not fires. Like fire doesn't consume bricks and concrete. It doesn't. Those are inflammable. So is plate steel. None of that. Like steel wool, yeah, you can burn steel wool, but you're not going to burn plate steel. The plate steel on a ship is not flammable. I'm gonna get some sleep. It's past 4
Hey,
a.m. and I gotta wake up.
man, I'm just doing art, man. Thanks for talking to me and enlightening me. You blew my mind on at least four things now that I have to restructure my thinking on from now on. Change my whole nomenclature, how I even talk about waves and hurricanes. I appreciate it. I got some work
Oh,
to do.
you're welcome, man. Pass it on. Pass it on.
Oh,
Like it's
for
like
sure.
whatever you learn, pass it on because then it does no good to like keep it in this small group of just say whatever, however many people are here.
Right. Mass
Everyone
awareness is
hears,
what I'm about.
yeah. So if you tell whoever your truth or friends,
Yep.
and then they tell somebody, and eventually there's the controllers can't bullshit us anymore. Once there's enough awareness, I think that's the only way that there is. Like the only like way out of it is to like when enough people know that they're being bullshitted, and it's
Right.
it's hard to keep lying to our face, right?
I
It's
had a saying that we're all slaves until we're all flat earthers, pretty much.
yeah, but we,
But
we're flat earthers and we're still enslaved. The system is
well,
bigger than just knowing you're being ripped off.
another way of saying mass awareness is the key to saving us from
Well,
this
hopefully so. We're going to need some more
human
divine
destruction.
intervention probably, but
Well, hopefully that too. But have a good night, man. Thank you so much for all the
yeah, you
information.
too, my man.
Appreciate it.
Yep,
Everybody,
later.
all right, later. Everybody else, sorry for cutting off anybody earlier. Geo or whoever was talking. You guys were awesome. I'm gonna sit back, listen for anybody else.